Hello, welcome. This is Dennis Mello. I'm a partner solution architect for Microsoft with focus in security and compliance. And today I'm going to talk about the Security by Default program, which is a security journey that was created by us. uh, and the main audience is you as a partner, especially if you are a CSP partner. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this presentation, this recording is really helpful. And please reach out to your PTS or PTM in case you need more information about this program, as well as having access to the presentation, which contains several links and also recordings and demos. Without further ado, let's move forward. So the agenda will be basically, I'm going to go through some introduction about why this program is important and so. Then I'm going to talk about the requirements in terms of technical requirements, permission, GDAP requirements, and general guidance. Then I'm going to go through a demo about how to run the script. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the troubleshooting issues just in case you are not able to get the scores once you run the script. Then I'm going to cover several remediation tips and considerations. For example, MFA, Microsoft Entra, Azure Monitor, among others. This is basically, okay, I have completed the script, what I can do now. And then I'm going to cover a little about Power BI. For fiscal year 25, our CEO, Satya Nadella, said that for Microsoft, security is really our number one priority. So according to his own words, prioritizing security above all else is critical to our company's future. And how this is going to be done by Microsoft. There will be two ways. And the two outcomes actually will be a more resilient and transparent Microsoft, and also we are going to have more advanced security tools and solutions. But this is all part of the three pillars of Microsoft's Secure Future Initiative, which pillars are secure by design, where the security will come first when designing any product or service. Then we are going to have security by default, which are the security protections enabled and enforced by default without extra effort, and they will not be optional as well. And also secure operations, where security controls and monitoring will continuously to be improved to meet current and future threats. This said, how we are going to give you, partner, the empowerment to have access to know what is happening to several Azure subscriptions in terms of security. We are going to have the security score and also the recommendations and alerts that are provided by Defender for Cloud. As you can see here, Defender for Cloud, the security score is a metric from Defender for Cloud. This is calculated based on the security controls and recommendations provided by Defender for Cloud, which is one of the best solutions available in the market for CSPM, cloud security posture management, and also workload protection. And while there is not really a one-size-fits-all, Microsoft is recommending to have 60% of a security score to be considered as reasonable, okay? And this is like the benchmark for many organizations. It doesn't mean that organizations or subscriptions above 65% will not face security issues or compromises and so, but they will be less likely to have something happening there. So please keep this in mind. So whenever, and this program was called before Mission 65. This fiscal year, we are calling it security by default. This said, the way we are going to do is by giving you access to a script, a PowerShell script, which is going to be executed by you as a partner, as a CSP partner. And then this script is going to get the Defender for Cloud telemetry available through the Defender for Cloud Foundational, get the security score, all the recommendations and the grades, and this is going to be saved in a CSV file in your computer. If you have any questions or doubts about how the what are the security controls from Defender for Cloud, the recommendations, and even how the calculations are done, please make sure to take a look in this site, because it has basically everything you need to move forward. Before you begin, it's important to mention that although the script is not invasive in in any way, it's recommended to reach out to your customers, DSTs, resellers, if that is the case, to make sure that to let them know that you are going to run a script. Some of the environments may be monitored, so it's a good practice to communicate them. Please take the list of all the tenant IDs before anything, because this is the main input you have to provide to the script, okay? And then with all set, you can move forward and start to run the script. I'm going to cover in a few moments. What can, security by default program, what can it do for you? In the end of the day, as a CSP, and by obtaining the security scores from Defender for Cloud, you can get security scores from dozens to thousands of subscriptions. Then having the holistic secure posture, which is basically to have a comprehensive view of your security posture across your Azure tenants and subscriptions. And this is going to help you as a CSP to have the overall security status, and then to prioritize the actions to improve it. Then, by knowing the recommendations, by knowing the scores, this is going to help you with risk management, because you can prioritize and you can realize what are the main risks, the main recommendations, and the most risky subscriptions, and then you can prioritize by having proactive actions. Then you can also achieve compliance management, especially if you enable Defender for Cloud CSPM, which is a paid resource from Defender for Cloud. It's going to give you also compliance insights about Azure environments. So if you have customers that are under the GDPR regulation or PCI and some other regulations, you can also have the compliance insights about their environments and work accordingly to improve and also to get a better score. Then you can have efficient security operations. If you are not managing the customer's environment right now in terms of security, you can start to get alerts and recommendations using Defender for Cloud, and this is going to streamline your security operations. And with all of them, or just a couple of the topics that I just mentioned, you are going to get a better customer trust, an enhanced customer trust. What are the requirements to work with security by default? Because I told before that we're going to work mainly with a PowerShell script. You have to work with PowerShell version 7 or above. In the documentation in this presentation, you can get the link for that, but you can also get the other repositories from Microsoft to download the PowerShell version 7 or above. Run the PowerShell as an administrator. This is really important. In case you are in indirect CSP, you may not have the enough permissions to activate the security score. Please refer to this documentation to make sure you have everything set. But this topic, it's mainly covering the GDAP, which I'm going to talk more about in a moment. Again, the script doesn't enable or will not enable anything in the environment. It will not enable any of the Defender for Cloud plans. Okay, just be aware of that. And also, we are only using the Defender for Cloud foundational CSPM. Eventually, although I haven't been hearing anything more about it, some really old environments may require to enable the Microsoft Security Provider. The command to do that will be made available in very soon in the next in the next slides. In terms of GDAP requirements, GDAP is a mandatory feature from Microsoft to make the connection between the relationship between the partners and their customers. I'm not going to cover GDAP in details here, but you have to have GDAP working to the script to work. We also have scripts that run without the need of GDAP, but this is not the reality anymore. So please make sure to follow the steps that are over here, which is basically to establish the GDAP relationship between partner and customer, and from this one to setting up the Microsoft Entra role as directory readers. This is really important. And then it's important to mention that the script doesn't work with enterprise agreement based subscriptions. In this case, please work directly with your customer. Give it access to the script, and once the customer is able to run the script, get the results and work with them accordingly. This is only a continuation from GDAP. There are a couple of more information here, but what's really important here is to get the GitHub repository from the PowerShell. Please download the PowerShell here. And if you talk to us when talking to your PTS or PDM, we're going to also provide you access to the script. The PowerShell script itself, execution is pretty simple. The first thing that you are going to do once you save it, you are going to get the tenants IDs that I explained before. And remember, this is all about tenant IDs. For each tenant ID in the file, the script will read all the subscriptions within that tenant ID, and will get the security scores of each one of them. Okay. Initially, the file that needs to have the tenant IDs is this one, tenant ID.txt, which is located into this folder from Windows, in the temp folder into the root directory. You can change the script as you need. It's open source. Please feel free to change the directories as well as making enhancements to the scripts. Once you run the script, it's going to generate a CSV file with this format, mission65, and then year, month, day, hour, month, and seconds. Okay, this is the format, and it's going to vary according. Each time you are going to run, it's going to save in a different file. Okay, please read all the information that is available there. I'm going to go into an example later on. And for if you have if you need to go through and the script is not working because there is a policy preventing the script to work, you can make use of one of these commands to bypass, because the script is not signed, was not it does not have a certificate. So please run those commands in order to bypass this and run the script. If you need to do some practice with Defender for Cloud, you can register for a free trial. You can go to aka.ms/mdclabs to test the Defender for Cloud plans. But if you are already experienced with Defender for Cloud, you can also, one of the ways, of course, you have to get an authorization and approval from the customer. I would recommend to enable Defender for Cloud CSPM and then go to attack paths. Why that? Because this is the way you are going to have the most important risks listed, and then you can prioritize what you are going to do with them by having this visibility. Okay, and remember, if you enable Defender for Cloud CSPM or any other Defender for Cloud plan, like Defender for servers, Defender for databases, for API, Key Vault, and so on and so forth, this is free for 30 days. In the 31st day, this is going to be charged. So please make sure to do some testing and show the value to the customer during the 30 days time frame. Now I'm going to go through the demo. I'm going to share my screen really quick, where you are going to see. So here you can see where I save it, the script. I'm going to run. It's going to ask me to authenticate using my user, which is this one, and I already authenticated before. And now I'm going to go back to the PowerShell window. The script will go through the tenant ID that I included there into the tenants in the tenants ID file, and it's going to read all the subscriptions below. Okay, my machine, it's a bit slow right now, so I'm going to close this window and I'm going to go back to the presentation again while it's being running. But what I really want to show, it's an example from the result. So you can see here the subscription ID, the subscription name, and you are going to get many subscriptions IDs and names because most of the CSPs are managing dozens or hundreds or even thousands of subscriptions. Then you are going to get the security score, in my case 28%. Then, and I'm covering here what's most important. You are going to get the control display name, for example, encrypt data in transit. I have a control current score of 4, max score 4, so I'm okay with that. The number of healthy resources, unhealthy, not applicable, and applicable resources. This is really important. Some of you will face something like dozens or hundreds of healthy or unhealthy resources. Then the effort will be greater to remediate the risks. Okay, and then the list of remaining security controls with their grades, their scores, the max scores, the weight, the health resources, and so. Let me go back to the presentation. And we are going to cover, in the presentation, you are also going to find a demo, okay, a recording from a demo about how to run the PowerShell script, which is over here. Then let's move forward. How to troubleshoot issues getting security scores from subscriptions. Sometimes I have worked with partners who had some issues getting the security scores. Usually the issues are all about authentication issues. If you are not using the right identity, the right user to log into the CSP, you need to be a CSP global admin or equivalent in order to run, because you have to have access to the tenants that you are managing to have access to Defender for Cloud. It doesn't work. The PowerShell doesn't work with enterprise agreements, as I said before. sometimes there is a lack of the right permissions. Please make sure to see what are the permissions you have and make sure to have the right ones. The PowerShell script doesn't work with Microsoft 365 subscriptions. This is I wouldn't say a limitation, but this is not a scope because they cannot be evaluated by Defender for Cloud. Also, module versions. Please make sure to use PowerShell 7, version 7 or above, and eventually some data availability issues. I already worked with partners that have a certain security score into the CSV file, and when compared to the Defender for Cloud GUI, the result was different. And sometimes it takes from 25 up to 48 hours to the results to be reflected into the Defender for Cloud interface. Just in case you need to, you don't have access specifically to Defender for Cloud for some reason and need to get what are the results, you can make use of those two queries that are available here in the presentation. Just make use of the resource graph, include those queries, and then you are going to get basically the same results as the PowerShell script. Then you can download and work with the results accordingly. Okay, now that you as a CSP has ran the PowerShell script, got the results, where should you where do you begin? How the efforts to remediate can begin? This is only a recommendation based on my experience working with CSP partners. So I would begin with the protection of the identities, putting MFA into the identities. Microsoft has been working to make these mandatory for all the tenants, but please make sure to select the right method according to the customer business needs, to the resource they have. So this is what I really recommend you to begin. You can do by security with security defaults, but I always recommend going to use conditional access, which is part of the Microsoft Defender. My apologies this is part of the Microsoft Entra P1 or P2. Okay, and whenever possible, please try to use FIDO2 keys because they are phishing attack resistant. They are easy to set up and they are really, really secure. I also included some considerations when setting up the MFA method, because depending on the customer, they may have some security requirements, some compliance requirements. So it cannot be any type of second authentication like SMS, for example. You need to work with stronger methods. So please make sure to identify the security requirements of your customers, select the appropriate MFA solution. In some cases, it's important to develop and also test your solution, communicate the users accordingly, and then start to also monitor the MFA usage and so. Here I only included a demo about MFA setup. If you are not using it to work, this is only covering the Microsoft Authenticator, but this is only for reference. The second set of recommendations is to work with Azure Monitor. Although we have more advanced solutions like Microsoft Sentinel to monitor several environments, multi-cloud environments on premises, and so I would recommend to use Azure Monitor because this is a very cost-effective option to monitor environments. You are going to get visibility of many use cases and also get notifications of instant and malicious behavior according to the queries that you defined, according to the use cases you define it with Azure Monitor. In this case, I'm only covering a small piece of Microsoft Entra ID logs because monitoring identities, it's a really nice stuff. And here I included several examples of use cases of patterns about attacks with focus on identities, like password sprays, sensitive accounts being accessed, MFA failed results, attempts, and all you need to do, please go back and see what how you export the Azure the Microsoft Entra logs to Azure Monitor, create the rules, and here are some of the rules. And some of them, please be aware of cost ingestion when using Azure Monitor. And in red, all the terms in red you can change according to your business need, according to your users' identities, according to the time frame, as well as you can see on those examples. It's only a small set. Definitely you can make use of them and improve over time, even covering more research, not only Microsoft Entra. You can do a lot of things with Azure Monitor to begin the monitoring aspects as a partner. Also, I would recommend monitoring Defender for Cloud Alerts. I included here a quick demo about how to set up this. This is really simple, but you just need to define the roles within your organization who are going to receive the email notifications. You can also include additional email addresses separated by comma in this space. And then you also need to select the severity. For example, if I'm going to monitor only high alerts with high priority, medium priority, or low priority. You can define, and based on that, you are going to start to receive notifications as soon as they happen into the Microsoft, once they are recognized and identified by Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Third point, about still talking about remediation tips. This is basically to go over additional capabilities, especially conditional access. I really recommend the organizations to use conditional access. Please be aware of also fixing vulnerabilities and misconfigurations, just like one of the examples, and could be many, access to open ports, to RDP or SS8 ports that are available into the through the internet without any further filtering or monitoring. Please be aware of them. And also you can do some other stuff like reviewing and revoke access from unknown applications. Whenever we work with cloud-based solutions, no matter they are, it's common to have access or attackers try to compromise environments by using unknown applications. If you don't know them, you can basically review and revoke them. Please take a look in those websites, which are going to give you more information on how to handle. The next slides, it's all about 10 slides. I'm talking about Microsoft security defaults and especially Microsoft conditional access capabilities. The idea is not to give you a hands-on opportunity to learn much more about conditional access, but only to give you some of the capabilities. What is conditional access? This is more a reference guide for you as a CSP, just in case you are not used to work with conditional access. But in the end of the day, based on conditions like the types of devices, if they are trusted or not, if you are talking about internal users, external users, depending on the location, and so you can put additional controls to before granting access to that identity or to the user. You can allow or block access, you can limit access, you may require MFA, you can force a password reset, you can do many things, not only to resources within Microsoft, within Azure, but also to any application that is published into Microsoft Entra. This can be, but not limited to OneDrive, Teams. This can be also for cloud SaaS applications like Salesforce, SAP, among others. And also, if you integrate on-premises and web applications from the customers into Microsoft Entra, you can also get the great functionalities and features from Microsoft Entra Conditional Access to provide extra security when identities are accessing on-premises or web applications from customers. So this is the slides are covering the topics about conditional access. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just to give you some reference and how this can be of benefit of many of you. Okay, let me go over. I have worked with many partners that once they realized the value of Microsoft Defender for Cloud, they started to ask us, how can I automate or make the patches and vulnerabilities to be fixed in a short time frame without going to any individual resource and spending a lot of time. Because of that, I decided to include here Azure Update Manager as a recommended solution to be used by you as a partner, because Azure Update Manager basically it centrally manage updates, patches, and compliance at scale, reducing the complexity, and also you can patch the diverse environments really quick. Also, you can get centralized control, delegation, and granular access, including also the intelligent automation and scheduling, meaning that you can now automate and customize the maintenance and patches according to your schedule. You can do hot patching without the need of rebooting your virtual machines, and you can also sync patch cycles to common update schedules like Patch Tuesday provided by Microsoft, as well as having a single pane of glass for hybrid and multi-cloud with Azure Arc, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. So you can have intelligent automation in scheduling. You can also have, this is really cool, which is to reduce reboots and hot patching. This is really important for many environments, but please be aware always to test the patches, the fixes before moving to production, because depending on the patch, this can impact the environment of your customers. Okay, but you can achieve that by using the features of Azure Update Manager. In terms of pricing, this is free for virtual machines within Azure, and for Arc-enabled virtual machines, which means on-premises machines, Windows or Linux machines, because Azure Update Manager is also compatible with Linux. There is a cost associated, but if the machines are onboarded by Arc, they can be also managed by Azure Update Manager, which is really a really nice feature. We are now going to the end of the presentation, but before that, I just included a topic about SMBs and SMCs, because some of them usually lack many security controls, many security solutions, but this is more informational. With them, I would recommend to protect the endpoints using Defender for Endpoint, which is our XDR solution, and also to protect the mailboxes from the users, because this is one of the ways the hackers will try their best to compromise. And the cost of a phishing attack is really low, but the damage it can cause to the customer can be really, really huge. And here, the information about the Defender for Business for organizations up to 300 users, sometimes up to 500 users. You can make use of Defender for Business Suite. And the interesting note here is that by using Microsoft Defender for Business, besides the Office 365, Teams, OneDrive, and so you can also make use of some initial features from Microsoft Entropy 1, where you can implement conditional access, which is great. You can also make use of Intune to onboard and to manage devices all across the company. You can also going to get some features in terms of data protection from Purview, which are great capabilities. I was showing something minutes ago. I was showing the results into the CSV file, and I know this can be not so friendly to many people. So that's why we are sharing a repository, a GitHub repository on getting which is going to transform the data into friendly Power BI. We from the security team here on GPS, we are not providing any support or guidance because this is a open GitHub from professionals from Microsoft. But many partners have worked with the GitHub repository, and they got really nice results by having a more friendly results into Power BI into the Power BI platform. Here are some additional resources and call to action. I included material about zero trust, secure hybrid access, and also Microsoft cybersecurity reference architecture, which is always being updated. And that's all that I wanted to cover today. Thank you very much for you by by watching this video. This content was prepared in special for you as a partner, and we are hoping that you can make use of the scripts and the tips and recommendations that were provided here to work with your customers in a proactive way and talking more about security, the importance of security, improving the secure posture, and also doing the recommendations which can be different over time. So security is always a priority, and I hope this was valuable to you. Thank you very much. See you next time.